In this episode, we head off to the Nigerian Highlands to tackle the greatest overland trail in West Africa. Crossing from Nigeria to Cameroon in the rainy season with a broken gearbox and Jessica with malaria.
Jesus, where do all these people come from? That's
All the villages within a 100-kilometer radius. Thank you.
The Land Rover was suffering with a broken gearbox. When I say broken, I don't mean completely broken, but it was breaking, and it was worrying that we couldn't gear down from third to second. It really held us up and made it a little bit more interesting when we were trying to maintain momentum and work through the gears. But that's the beauty of low range, is that you get so much power in third gear that you almost don't need second gear in a lot of situations. Jessica still had malaria, but she was doing a lot better since we had taken the time and we'd done the correct thing and taken her to the clinic and had her diagnosed and had all the testing done and the treatments. The one thing she hated though was this very pungent tasting, what was it called? It was a immunity booster, which Keenan loved and she hated, but she had to take it. We'd have to force her to eat, and because she couldn't take it on an empty stomach and she couldn't take her pills on the empty stomach, but she was doing well. And we felt quite terrible having to drag her bouncing across this off-road trail in the absolute middle of nowhere while she was recovering from malaria, but we didn't have any choice. We had to soldier on through.
Show the little one.
Your name is?
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
And the name of the village was?
Dungwa Bongo.
Dungwa Bongo.
Dungwa Bongo.
Dunga.
Okay. Can you see my breath?
No, it's just white behind you.
It's so nice to be cold. Right, so we're busy doing the road to Cameroon through the highlands, eastern Nigeria. I think you might have picked that up by now. But I can hardly see anything in front of me. Sometimes my visibility is 5 meters, sometimes it's 10. We slept on the road. We didn't know we were just outside a village, but we slept on the road, us and the Germans in the truck. And it was cool. I actually slept in my down duvet and didn't get hot once during the night. It was fantastic. So now I think we're going down, down, down out of the mountains. Is mist and fog and it's starting to rain and there's wind, so we might be hit by a storm now. So yeah, downhill, very, very slippery mud, and it completely covers the tires. It's completely blocked up. So it's a lot of concentration for early in the morning. Yeah, so going at about 15 k's an hour, and we've got another 100 k's of this to do before we emerge back into civilization in Cameroon. Landy's having trouble going into second gear from third. Yeah, it's just once in an adventure, right? Close up a bit.
Instead of having
long, wet road. At times it felt like we were driving in a riverbed. Muddy, muddy, muddy. But luckily there hadn't been much traffic. So the road wasn't too chewed up in some parts. In other parts it was very bad. We progressed in low range most of the time. I can't remember actually not being in low range for almost 3 days. Landy, it was pretty wet and but cool. We hadn't showered since the shooting incident at Casino Allah. It which had been 2 or 3 days earlier, and we were starting to feel the fatigue of being on the road for so long. But I must admit, driving these trails was preferable to driving bad potholed roads full of cops and roadblocks and villages and all the distractions that come with that. There was no litter, there were no police, there were no military checkpoints. There was just pure unadulterated overland travel like it must have been decades ago. It was a view into an earlier time, into a world that almost doesn't exist these days. Villages were few and far between. A lot of them traded in basics such as vegetables, and now and then we could stop and buy some bread and basic supplies, but we didn't stop that often. There weren't that many stores, there weren't that many reasons to stop other than to say hello to the locals and to check that we weren't lost. The trail on our Overlander was correct but vague, and once or twice we found ourselves having to backtrack and find the better road, or the correct road at least.